You know, to be honest with you with this one, I am super tempted to just say, link to the lore runner terminations in the description. Go watch that. Don't bother with me. Now, okay, I'm not going to cheat you out of a video like that. I mean, I've wanted to pull that gag only twice in the history of this show. Once with a now defunct video that I've long since deleted. That would be Ruby Volume 5 in regards to talking about a group that the fandom has dubbed Team Ranger because of a scene in Ruby Volume 4. Or actually, I think Ruby actually says his "Let's go, Team Ranger" at one point, which is actually more, which is funny because it would fit more, more with the color theme of Ruby because Power Rangers, right? Fuck! Now I've made myself sad. For the record, I am recording this like days after the announcement that Jason David Frank, who played Tommy on Power Rangers, passed away. And apparently from suicide, too. Not good. Anyways. Sorry for the heaviness of that, but there's that. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to do the joke of just chopping off super early, because of because what can I say about SOTN that 1,000 people haven't already said? And for the record, yeah, the 40-minute rumination that the lore runner did, I would recommend more highly. In fact, now no joke, I will put a link to it in the description because I do think you should watch his rumination on this because he actually articulates it. Is going to articulate the game. He articulates the gameplay better than I'm going to because I'm not good at explaining things. You know, he fumbles a little bit, but I am probably going to be talking more about the story and the characters, and the voice acting, more than he will, because that's more my wheelhouse: characters and storytelling. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that: stories and voice acting, not so much storytelling. He's better at explaining the different ins and outs of storytelling. Anyways, to get back on track, let's talk about SOTN. Now, let's talk about the thing that everybody knows. SOTN started a genre. I should explain why I say that SOTN is the innovator and codifier of this, and why I don't think Metroid 1 is the is the creator of Metroidvanias. There is a very distinct flavor to Metroidvanias that I don't think Metroid by itself really captures. Now I know what you're thinking. What? Blue Wolf? Wolf, it's an exploration platformer where there's a bunch of connected areas. Yes. Do me a favor sometime and look at a map of, say, Super Metroid and realize is that there isn't that it isn't all one big cohesive connection point. To get from, say, the surface of Zebes to Norfair requires you to go down an elevator, and there's no other way to get down to Norfair. See the problem? Meanwhile, in SOTN, there is literally a way to come from, I want to say, to go from the entrance. There's two connections is to the Marble Laboratory and the one of the underground areas. I think not the catacombs. The waterway. I want to say the underground waterway. Right? They're one of the underground areas and the Marble Laboratory both connect to the entrance. And then there's one other place that also connects to the entrance, and it is effectively one big area instead of having to take an elevator to another location. The only exception to that is the inverted castle. That's all spoilers, I guess. I mean, I don't consider the fact that there's two castles in SOTN to be, that major of a spoiler at this point, but yeah, no, there's two things, and there's multiple endings. Now obviously with the characterization and all that, we will talk about that when we get there, but at the same time, yeah. So, uh, so God, where do I even begin? So yeah, again, Requiem version, bad options. Moving on. By the way, I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go because an HD collection should have more than just one game's control scheme and and borders, and that's it. Well, borders and screen filters, and that's it. You know, give me a rewind feature. Give me save states. Give me the advanced collection, basically. You know, give me an updated bestiary, right? Even the anniversary collection that had Castlevania's one through four and Kid Dracula, that was better. Oh well, and Bloodlines too. Can't forget Bloodlines. Um, because that collection actually had all that awesomeness to it. It had all those extra goodies. You could view the box art in different regions. You could view, you had text blurbs. I think the manuals, I think there were manuals actually, like scans of the manuals in there too. I could be wrong about that. Uh, and I'd have to finagle my cords from my PS4. I don't want to do that. But my point in all of this and bringing all of this up is, again, the Requiem collection is lazy. Look, if people are gonna call the now defunct foam ports of FF is 5 and 6 lazy, then I'm allowed to call out something that is even fucking lazier than them. This is literally and some borders, some filters, there's some button remapping, and done. At least the stupid FF5 and FF6 ports tried to tidy up the graphics and make it more colorful and popping. It didn't work, but they tried. And then everybody complained about the lack of piano flex because everybody was dumb. See my FF5 video for more of a rant on that. Sorry. Anyways. So yeah. The in-game, although SOTN's in-game options still remain, which is good. All right, I guess I should try and talk about the gameplay somewhat. So there is a thing called the Taste of Power. Okay. Metroid does it to varying degrees of success, although I would argue 9 times out of 10 Metroid fails this. And I do mean like fucking fails. Okay? Because so many times the excuse is Samus didn't bring her weapons. And that's bullcrap. Like even the Trail series, for as dumb as it can get with some of its, equipment on hand crap, still managed to get this more correct, right? At least in terms of the levels, right? Because you can go into, for example, Cold Steel 2 with the level you were at the end of Cold Steel 1, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. And I actually tested that you are actually higher level if you import your save, which is good because that's what should happen. And then Cold Steel 4 fucks that up, but let's not get into that. Let's not get into that here because, again, from your perspective, that will be on the streams at some point. This same year. So there you go. So there's going to be like 20 videos. The reason why there's going to be like 21 in the rankings is because, multiplayer stuff. I guess I could do a video on Shredder's Revenge, couldn't I? I think I'm going to do that, but regardless, that'll be a short one too. But anyways, So with all that speculation out of the way, so anyways, the fact of the matter is that I got to be honest with you, I don't much care for. Uh, no, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. Okay, let's try to talk gameplay. So the taste of power. Sorry, there we go. The taste of power. So you feel powerful for a bit, and then Dracula takes your weapons away. And if you're the ABGN, you're claiming that your attack completely sucks. I don't think the ABGN knows what power progression curve is. Now, I'm saying that very specifically because I know it's a comedy show. Okay. Hey, okay, I'm not trying to accuse James Rolfe of anything. God knows I don't need more of that shit in my life. But let's not get into any of that. Anyways, the point is there is a lot of awesome things about this game's gameplay. The weapons all feeling there being a variety of different weapons that you can use, uh, different ways to go about the castle, different speedrunning tactics. There's the spells, although the Street Fighter inputs can go to hell. I really don't have any. I really don't have anything to say other than I will never be able to cast half of the fucking spells in this game, and I mean that sincerely. I have at one point I got Summon Spirit on accident. Accident. I have done Dark Metamorphosis is the easy one, and I have done Hellfire a couple of times. Yeah, I suck at this. I will never get wings. I will never figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with Wing Smash. Seriously, what even is that? What even is that? Like, what are you actually doing with your controller with that input? Like, Jesus Christ. Ugh. But I digress. SOTN definitely has an info and game problem too, which doesn't help. Like, you won't even know the inputs until you either A, cast the spell, or B, whatchamacallit. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I absolutely love a lot of the. And I do love the exploration. I do love the bosses. A lot of the bosses are just fun as hell to fight, even if some of them don't last very long if you've overpowered yourself. The game never feels like you're grinding, like you have to grind. Now, you can grind, and there is a bit of a catch up mechanic, although it's exp scaling, which we all know how I feel about exp scaling. Go watch my my Sky One video for an explanation of why I fucking hate exp scaling. I really do. Especially when that exp scaling drags the experience you gain down to 0. That is just being an asshole at that point. My opinion. Ugh, right? Now, having a catch-up mechanic, like, you should at least have it as a toggleable option, right? And then put everybody all of the enemies at a flat exp gain, right? Because the way the X system works is that the more the difference in the level, right? If you're much lower level, they'll give you much more experience. If you're much higher level, they'll give you much less experience. And I hate that because it eventually, now granted some people would look at you like, well, why are you trying to grind to level 99 when level 60 has you curb stomping the game? Because that's fun. I mean, I'm the guy who's crazy enough to try and get to the level cap of Legend of Dragoon, right? Like, that would be effectively like a DGAW's Q&A stream for me, is just grinding my characters to level 60 in Legend of Dragoon. I can beat Legend of Dragoon at level 40, and level 45 it has me curb stomping the final boss. Well, okay, maybe not curb stomping, but like yeah, everything past 45 is just he's a joke to me. You know, one or two hits for his first form. No, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. For the ads on his first form, and then like 4 or 5 good hits, and it'll force him to change forms, or blah 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 blah. That's stuff to get into in. Let's see, Arya Xenogears in like 3 videos from now, because next is going to be Arya, then we'll be talking about Xenogears. That'll be fun, and then Legend of Dragoon, which I am nervous about. But regardless, the one thing I will say is I like uh, how do I phrase this? I like Final, and I do like SOTN giving me level ups constantly, and those level ups mattering. Although I think the stat ups are random. I could be wrong, but not in that Fire Emblem way. More like the game just decides what stats it wants to boost. Now, eventually, your stats will be boosted enough, but it's mostly your equipment that are really giving you the power boost. The levels kind of boost your power, but that's. I do like the fact that you can defeat enemies so much quicker when you're higher level, though. That is always something I enjoy. So, um, love the different weapons. There's a stupid number of ways you can go through the game, which is awesome. There's no real new game plus, which sucks because this is an example of a game that, in my opinion, is begging for a new game plus. And I mean begging for a new game plus. Now you're probably thinking, well, uh, why would you want a new game plus if Death's just going to take your weapons away? I'd have him only take away the Alucard set. That being the Alucard sword, Alucard shield, Alucard armor, and the necklace of J. Have him take those away, and then everything else he leaves in your inventory. Or make it like the Yuffie thing with the Yuffie materia thing in FF7. So minor spoilers for FF7. There is a side quest where Yuffie will steal all your materia, and you have she'll steal. There's only a very specific amount of materia she can steal. And the only way I've seen this is by having the all materia um, debug room Game Shark stuff. So you basically have to cheat the game in order to really do it. It is possible, but man, does it require a lot of fucking grinding to get that much materia, right? But effectively, you are fighting with no materia until you complete uh, until you complete the side quest. So there's that. Then, and I honestly, that's what I would do with Death. Right? He'd either take away only a specific stuff, or what you have on. Actually, that's probably what I would probably do. He takes away whatever you have on, and then it moves it away. It'd be an interesting kind of a twist to just have it make it so that you equip the weakest shit. It's like, yeah, go ahead, take my red rust. I don't care. I hate that weapon. That's another thing I don't like about this game. You can't get rid of weapons you don't want. Thank you, Aria of Sorrow, for fixing that problem. But yeah, there's a stupid number of ways you can go through the game. Stupid amount of builds for your character for Alucard, and the familiars are actually really fun. I usually only just use the fairy because she can heal you, which is nice. Is there anything else gameplay wise? I've said the bosses are awesome. I do I guess let's talk about the control. I didn't really talk about the control. So you start the game, you start a new game, and you're playing as Richter first. I didn't load up Richter mode. I don't even have Richter mode. Oh, fresh file. But this is the prologue. So you go through the prologue as Richter, and if you play around with Richter, you realize, oh my god, can you control him so much better than you did uh in Rondo of Blood, right? Because in Rondo of Blood, he controlled like shit. Let's just not beat around the bush. He controlled like ass. It's in Rondo of Blood. Here, he's got the whip twirling. He can, he's got the slide move. He's got the super jump, which can also do damage. Image. He moves way faster. He is a big glass cannon still, but at least there's a fucking cannon that can actually do some damage. Image. He's not a glass pea shooter like he was in frickin' Rondo. My opinion. No, this time he's a fucking glass cannon. A glass bazooka, if you will. Yeah. So that's cool. I was sitting there gushing. I did that fight twice. Because I just had to show off why that opening fight was worth 2 gameplay positives. Because Richter controlled like a goddamn dream. Oh, and that's an unlosable fight. Dracula can't win that fight. And you're like, huh? What do you mean? I mean, Richter's taking damage. Yes, he is. If Richter's HP gets to 0, Maria shows up. Richter, lend him your strength. Her animal buddies give Richter his energy, and now Richter is completely immune for the rest of the fight. Although what's hilarious is on stream, I had to actively try to suck at that fight. Me. I had to actively try to suck. Oh my god. I had to try to suck. I got nothing on that. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm going, okay. It's probably because I have so much experience and I was doing the thing. And the fact that I had literally, I'm pretty sure that same fucking day, beaten Rondo of Blood. So I was, I knew what to expect from both Dracula's main form and his true Dracula form, which is awesome. Oh, fuck, I loved that fight. I love that fight. That fight is so good. And Hydrostorm is busted. Like, seriously, Hydrostorm is just redonkulous on how powerful it is. Oof. Anyways. And, yeah. Anything else I want to talk about? The Chrysogrim is awesome. You don't get it until the inverted castle, but that's because that's because it literally breaks the game in half because of just how fucking insane his attack speed is. Its attack speed is. I should clarify. There's different consumable items. I don't like how you use items in this game, admittedly, because you have to equip them and then use them, which is. Once again, thank you, Ario Sorrow, for fixing that. Well, actually, it was whatever one came before Aria, because I'm pretty sure Harmony of Dissonance was before it. So, Shrug, I guess. Or did Circle of the Moon was actually the one that fixed that, because Circle of the Moon was the first one. Then it was Harmony. Then it was Aria, I think. I don't like Circle of the Moon, by the way. I really don't. I feel like that one is jank. That one is jank, and if you're trying to do a specific run of that game, like if you're hacking the game to be a level 1 run, oh fuck. I'll link you a video that shows just how fucking insane that is. Trust me, do not recommend. Just flat out do not recommend. Especially considering you actually do have to hack the game so that you will never leave level 1. And then he ended up having to hack the game for grinding purposes because the RNG in Circle of the Moon is awful. I know RNG in a Castlevania game, which actually that's a good that's actually a decent thing. That's something I should talk about because I did talk about the Chrysogrim, and then I mentioned Circle of the Moon's RNG sucking. Let's talk about drop rates. First of all, the info in the game is awful because you won't know, even if you go into the bestiary, I'm pretty sure, you will not know what enemies drop what. But and even in Aria, you don't really know what enemies drop what until you've acquired them until they've dropped once. Now, admittedly, I don't mind that so much, but I can see why other people would be like, "Rah!" Right? But I actually don't mind it. Uh, I actually kind of like it as a best rate. Item drops being unknown until they drop is fine, especially considering they fixed the item rates in Aria of Sorrow. My opinion. I get way too many cloth tunics from zombies in Aria of Sorrow, so yeah, they fixed it. Now the soul grinding is a pain in the ass, but we'll get into that when we get to Aria. So yeah, the drop rates are kind of crap. The thing, I guess I could consult my notes because I've been doing that all off the top of my head. Again, like I said in Rondo, notes were over here. Let's see. Talked about how cool the intro is like the control. Talked about the options. The sprite work is really good. The music, okay, I know I haven't mentioned the music. The music was good in Rondo, and it's good here. Because of course the music's good. It's Castlevania. Come on. Castlevania has good music. In other news, the sky is blue, the water is wet, and politicians are morons. Moving on. I don't know why I default to things I don't want to talk about when I do those jokes. I really don't. I like the librarian's weapon shop, although the librarian is the only shop in the entire game is a little... What else do we got here? Didn't like the fight with the doppelganger. There are some bosses I don't like. Some enemies are really fucking irritating, like the Fleeman. I really don't like them. The lack of save points is kind of crap. The power progression curve I've already talked about. There is some knockback, which is garbage as it always is. There's good music direction in the gameplay. Now, this might sound weird. Why did I give a gameplay plus for music direction? Oh, very simple. There are specific instances where a fight will actually gain more tension because of the music. In other words, so you enter this room and no music. Then you walk up, boss spawns in, and the music kicks in. Fuck yeah, that's cool. I like that. I do like the flow of exploration. Again, the interconnected world is awesome. Like I said, there's like 3 areas that connect to the entrance. I did like fighting the werewolf and the minotaur in the arena. The Skilla worm was kind of cool. Well, the succubus was an alright fight, but yeah, that's more for a story thing. Library cards to warp back to the library are cool. Well, there's a boss fight that is from the Saturn version that they now include in all the HD versions. So you're only going to get the Michelle Ruff version of Maria for this fight. Fighting her is kind of cool, except again, she's a glass cannon, so you take her down pretty quickly, unfortunately. But she has all of her animal moves, and she can combo you pretty good. By this point, though, you unfortunately will curb stomp her. I feel so sorry for Maria because Maria is actually one of my favorite characters. I just kind of wish she was a bit more powerful, you know? Oh, don't worry, Maria. In my setting, your ancestors will be much more powerful. Anyways. Or, not ancestors, sorry. Predecessors. Your descendants. That's the word I was looking for. Your descendants, not ancestors. Wake up, Alex. Wake up. You've got a stream in just over an hour. Come on. God. What else do we got here? So, yeah, fighting Maria is cool. We'll talk about the voice acting in the story section. The Inverted Castle, music-wise, is not so good. I gave a negative for the final toccata. The Inverted Castle has like 3 or 4 songs, and the final toccata really plays way too much in it, and I hate it. There's my plus for the Chrysogrim. I hate imps. Okay, let me explain why I hate imps. Okay, because what imps will do is imps will they'll do a specific move where you're stuck in place just rapidly mashing the attack button, basically. And so it's literally somebody taking your controller away for a little bit. I think you can fight out of that, but usually it takes forever to get out of that. And when you're in a room with multiple imps, you're just sitting there waiting for the imps to fuck off so you can control Alucard again. It's frustratingly stupid. Thankfully, Arya toned them down. They are in one area and they only usually show up one at a time. Instead of like the 5 at once that can show up here in SOTN. God damn it, you know? There's my double negative for the inputs on the spells. Like I said, the bat charge is just ridiculous. The final couple of bosses are cool. The Richter and Maria mode, I actually just gave a combined gameplay plus. I was gonna give each one individual ones, but then I thought, no. Maria is ridiculously glass cannony, and Richter is kind of glass cannony. All right. Time for the spoiler section. Now, I know the Lowrunner didn't really do a spoiler section because he doesn't really do that. He doesn't like to talk about the obvious stuff. But of course, my approach is always discuss the whole thing. Because again, this is presenting my opinion, so. Alright. So, spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the off chance you have not played SOTN, go play SOTN. It's SOTN! Go play it. Even with the crappy voice actor version, which is the HD version, by the way, in my opinion, I'll talk about that in a minute, I still say you should play SOTN. Because SOTN is awesome, and you should play it. Absolutely. SOTN is awesome. Yeah. Okay. Last chance. Here we go. Let's start with the fact that this is the worst voice acting that Castlevania has ever presented. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jeez, Blue Wolf, that's pretty fucking harsh. Let's count how many negatives I gave the voice acting alone, shall we? 2 for the acting and the direction alone. And I think only 1 for the "What have I done?" line read. And yes. So a total of 3 negatives to voice acting / voice direction. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Blue Wolf, why are you being an asshole to the for the voice acting? Because I have heard better, way better, from both Michelle Ruff, as I said in Rondo, I have heard better from both Michelle Ruff and Patrick Sates. Now, credit to Patrick Sates, he's trying here, but man, so much of the voice acting just loses all of its charm. I know some people call the entire voice acting rhetoric in the original SOTN to be over the top. up. But honestly, with the exception, as I said on the stream, with the sole exception of Dracula, I feel like the original cast did a superb job. There's a lot of cheesy line reads. There's a lot of cheesy dialogue bits. It's especially from the bosses. But honestly, I just feel like there's kind of more of a kick to it, you know? And again, well, the most unintentionally hilarious exchange of all time, "What is a man?" is great. I actually honestly feel like, no joke, Robert Belgarde does a fantastic job as Alucard in the original dub, and I actually played the original dub to completion on my PS3 after I streamed the HD version. If I ever re-review SOTN, I'm re-reviewing either the PS1 or the 360 version. The only thing that's going to suck with the 360 version is there are no CG cutscenes in that one. Although there's really nothing you're really missing, just kind of sweeping shots that's of the castle and the inverted castle showing up. You know, that's about it. That's about all you're really missing, and in exchange for better load times of the superior dub. And yes, I am going to say that. Because, again, this is awful. Yuri Lowenthal playing. Yeah, that's the other one. Yuri Lowenthal playing Alucard. He sounds like he's sleepwalking through his role. Well, he sounds bored. I know Yuri Lowenthal can voice act. I've heard him voice act. You know? Yosuke Hanamura in Persona 4. Peter fucking Parker in Insomniac Spider-Man. Need I say more? I can name so many roles that he's just done better in, and it just drives me up a wall. So annoying. Then. And so, yeah. I am not a fan of the voice acting. I hate the new dub. Patrick Staggs does his best. Michelle Ruff does her best. But, Jesus. Some of the dialogue changes are kind of annoying, and others are just, what the fuck, right? And again, and what's funny is Yuri Lowenthal even proves he can act with the few times he actually goes. He kind of has this like cold. There's times where he reads the lines and it sounds like Alucard is being cold, and it's beautiful. Oh, his final line to Shaft, the darkness, your beloved darkness awaits you. It's you. Go there and dwell now for all eternity. You know? His conversation with Dracula is another example of that. Although they remove some of the dialogue, which is just, what? There is literally a part in the ending where Dracula quotes the Bible. I believe he believes the line he quotes is Matthew 16:26. I could be, like, I don't know if that's accurate. It's been a while since I've opened up a Bible, admittedly. But I believe the quote is, what what does a man have if he gaineth the whole world but loseth his soul? It is something. I'm misquoting the shit out of it. Please forgive me. It's been a while since I did that initial run, but regardless, it is still a good quote, and I wish they had left it in. You know, I mean, I know people are wah about religion, but I mean, but come on. I think it's actually, what profit is it to a man if he gaineth the world but loseth his own soul? That's the quote. There it is. but regard, and that's a good quote. That really has nothing to do with religion at all. I mean, yeah, you're quoting the Bible, but at the same time, quoting the Bible can be used for good effect and can be very beneficial in a situation, right? Star Trek Deep Space Nine quoted the Bible once. That's right. But yeah. So let's talk about out the allo. So let's talk about the multiple endings now, because there are there are two bad ones, a normal one, and the true ending, which the normal and true endings literally have one difference in their dialogue. That's it, literally. And this all depends. And the way you get them is you defeat Richter without talking to Maria at all, or without getting the glasses. This is so you defeat Richter. Victor, you get the Alucard ending. You defeat Richter after getting the glasses from Maria. You get what I call the Maria ending, where she will, where her journey's not done because she has to figure out what the hell made him Richter go insane, right? Then there's the normal ending where you defeat Dracula without a full, or well, not full map completion, but at least 196% of the map complete. The max is like 200.6 or something like that. Where Maria is just like, nah, I don't need to follow him. But if you get 196% when you beat Dracula, she apologizes to Richter and then goes after Alucard. To be fair, I also have the headcanon that Maria and Alucard, were a thing, which is funny because, as I said on stream, I thought that was just, headcanon for years. No, it turns out that was writer intent, apparently. Because Maria is supposed to be the one that allows Alucard to be an Aria of Sorrow. And if you're sitting there thinking, wait, Alucard wasn't an Aria of Sorrow. Well, I'll explain that one next time. SOTN, ladies and gentlemen. Hellman, I told you I didn't. I guess I did talk more about the thing, but also Alucard's mother. Man, this now talking about this makes me want to watch the Netflix Castlevania anime again. I should get the DVDs of that. Anyways, one of the things I do like about this is that this was a decent story. Again, it's still basic, but it paved the way for stories to come, including the game we'll be talking about next time, Aria of Sorrow. I really do enjoy SOTN, but Aria of Sorrow, now that's where it's at for me. Till next time, Blue Wolf Alex the Lore Walker signing out. Have a good one.